This is Johnny Bluestar. Welcome to Threshold, a global media event.
There was no warning in 1971 when San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles was visited by a huge earthquake. But speaking somewhat metaphorically, now in 2016, do we not now hear tremors? The warnings of something massive to come, something economic, something threatening to our very well-being, but this time on the East Coast, we're speaking here about an unpleasant trembling, audible disruptiveness, the scent of serious danger emanating from that strange center of global marketplaces, America's exalted home of the lairs of those financial wizards, Wall Street, New York City, New York. Threshold Radio is proud to present a roundtable discussion with myself, attorney novelist Ken Eade, author of Terror in Wall Street and many other suspense and legal thrillers, and Sarah Westall, business consultant, technologist, and talk show host of Business Game Changes on the Conscious Business Radio Network. Although the thrust of the discussion is about Wall Street, its power, its deceptiveness, its volatility, and the hope we can prevent another financial collapse in 2008, the discussion parallels the plot and substance of Kenneth Eade's new book, Terror on Wall Street. While students in a special class at the University of Chicago ponder a future presentation addressing the crisis in the U.S. economy to the Senate Finance Committee in Washington, a terrorist attack on American retailers triggers an immense run on the banks and a general financial collapse. All hell is breaking loose on the streets. Looting, gas shortages. The National Guard called out. With all this in mind, my guest and I discussed the possible ramifications for a financial collapse, mirroring in some ways, but truly exceeding in potential devastation and breadth of damage, the financial debacle of 2008. Have we fixed the lack of appropriate regulation of Wall Street activities and policies? Whether you agree or not with Sanders in general, is he really wrong about this? The revolving door that creates government pawns of corporate greed? In fact, Ken Eade has written precisely about this problem in the novel The Involuntary Spy, focusing on the terrible possibilities for the unregulated releasing of genetically modified foods by a wealthy global agribusiness company. The overpopulation of potentially toxic securities like derivatives? The lack of prosecution for illegal activities that exacerbated the breakdown of 2008? Are these bank and financial service executives too big to jail? The huge amount of quantitative easing or massive money printing potentially leading to extraordinary inflation or currency collapse? Hear how Sarah Westall compares what is potentially happening and what happened to the Weimar Republic. The exploitation of the common investor by Wall Street propaganda? Are we still in the old days of George Graham Rice, a Wall Street fraudster who eventually shared a cell with Al Capone but in a more subtle and massive way? Ken Eade's book, Terror on Wall Street, explains how the average investor is taken advantage of. We discuss it in this program. The domination of the central banks in the world economy and the policies and statements that dramatically change for better or for worse worldwide markets. Join me, Johnny Bluestar, on this special program as Threshold Radio presents Tremors on Wall Street. Can we save the U.S. economy? A roundtable discussion with Ken Eade and Sarah Westall based on Terror on Wall Street, a new novel by Ken Eade.